Okay, it is 6:01 p.m. on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. We call the Common Council meeting to order. Let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Middleton, absent. Varga,
Here.
Romano, absent. Weigel,
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting on August 27th. Were there any changes or corrections?
I have none.
I also have none.
She's the eagle eye.
Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tad, second by Leslie. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Next up, we get to swear in our new firefighter, Colin Harding. Chief?
I'd like to introduce everybody to Colin Harding, one of the youngest hires we've had, and so far, so good. He's turning out to be an all right fella. So, Colin, if you'll step forward.
Right.
And that's his protege making this big
Terry's not here, so I gotta fill in.
Good job.
Wait, right now we'll take a picture of me.
Yeah.
You still let me do this right now?
Yeah.
You got a better angle.
Okay, are you ready? I, Colin Harding,
I, Colin Harding,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a Columbia City firefighter
as a Columbia City firefighter
of the City of Columbia City,
of the City of Columbia City,
according to the law,
according to the law,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
And for all the family and friends, you can either stay and enjoy the meeting, or you can be excused to go spend with Colin.
Yes. Congratulations. Thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate it. Appreciate your service to our city. Next up, Mike Chambers from NLC Service Line Program. Council members, in your Dropbox, and I thought it was in there, but then I found it wasn't. So now in your Dropbox is the PowerPoint presentation, if you will, that I'm assuming that Mike is going to follow. Is that fair?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Generally speaking?
Yes, generally, yes.
hopefully?
It'll
Okay.
basically recap everything I'm going to tell you, so yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Does everyone have it? Everyone see it?
It's down with me.
Okay, okay. It'll take a second, but, okay, very good. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and appreciate the council and city staff allowing me a few minutes tonight to tell you a little bit about the National League of Cities Service Line Program and how it has benefited communities across the country and could possibly benefit the residents here in Columbia City. My name is Mike Chambers. I'm with HomeServe. We're the administrators of the National League of Cities Service Line Program. And through that program, we work with cities and towns all across the country to help residents when they have issues with their water and sewer service lines. And, pretty much everywhere we go, we hear the same story. When the resident has, a frozen water line that breaks, or their sewer line collapses, or even just gets clogged with tree roots, first thing they do is call the city. You'll have to send someone out there, make sure the line in the street's working properly. Typically, it is because you're doing the maintenance and the upkeep on it. And that's when it kind of puts the city in the bad situation to where you have to be the bearer of bad news. Mr. and Mrs. Resident, we found the issue. It's your service line that's causing the problem, whether it's the backup or the loss of water pressure. And, basically the resident's going to need to get a contractor out there and have it repaired. And a lot of times residents, they don't, they become upset with the city because they don't realize that these lateral lines that run from the main to their house are their responsibility. And even the residents that do realize it's their responsibility, they don't have the $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 it can sometimes cost to dig these up and replace it. So that's where our program comes in. First off, it's an educational program. We do a free public awareness campaign to all the homeowners here in the community, just letting them know that, these lines are their responsibility. Also give them tips on what they can do to keep things working properly. Don't put grease down your drain, that sort of thing. And then also, if they choose, they're able to purchase a warranty through us that would cover this line for them in case anything happens. Now, the nice part for the city, it's a fully turnkey program. We handle all the marketing, all the billing, all the customer service, all the claims. There's no cost or anything for the city to participate. And then we share a portion of all the revenue that's generated from the program back with the city. Now, the nice part for your residents is if the city does decide to participate in the program, it's nothing that they're forced to take. It's not something that goes on their water bill or anything. It's just simply available. If they choose, they can enroll in our coverages. We'll make 3 products available that they can cover themselves with. The first is the external water line coverage. That covers their whole water line from where it enters the home all the way up to where the city's responsibility picks up, whether that's the curb stop or the main. Covers leaking lines, broken lines, slow running lines, frozen lines. Basically any disruption in their water service is covered for them. There's no deductible on that program for the residents. There's also no service fees, and we don't do any pre-inspection, so everybody is eligible to enroll. The second product we'll make available is the external sewer line coverage. That's actually our most popular product here in the state of Indiana. That covers their whole sewer line from where it enters the home all the way up to where it connects to the main. And that'll cover everything from a simple clean out, something gets flushed down there, or a lot of times it's tree roots that infiltrate that, that block it. That'll cover just clearing those out, all the way up to fully replacing that line, even repairing any kind of concrete if the street needs to be disturbed or a sidewalk or anything like that. All that's covered for your residents as well. Once again, there's no deductible or any service fees for them. And then the final product is the in-home plumbing and drainage. That covers all the water and sewer lines that are inside the home, as well as toilets, faucets, basically any issue that would occur in the home. Like I said, all those are optional, so residents are able to pick and choose what they want to enroll in. Now, when the resident has an issue, all they do is call us. That's the nice thing, too. They don't need to call the city. We have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week U.S.-based call center. They'll file the claim, and then we dispatch the job to a local licensed plumber. That's another big benefit of the program is we'll only use contractors from here in Columbia City to do the work. Not only does that help, stimulate the economy here with, using the local contractors, making sure the dollars stay in the community, but it also makes sure that the lines get fixed the way the city wants, making sure that all the permits are pulled, codes are met, that sort of thing. Now, as for the way, I always get the question, how is the residents made the program available to them? Are they going to get, annoying phone calls, telemarketing, or anything like that? We never do any kind of telemarketing. All of the education and offerings of this program is done through a direct mail educational letter. Typically, we send that out twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. Before we ever mail it to your residents, so we provide it to the city. You have an opportunity to review it, make sure you're happy with all the language that's in it, and then only once it's approved by the city will we set it up and send it out to your residents. Now, currently, we have about 1,300 communities that participate in the program. There's about 40 or so here in the state of Indiana. We've been offering the program through the National League of Cities since 2010. Just in the past 3 years alone, we've fixed over 1.2 million lines across the country, saving residents over $500 million. The program is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. It's endorsed by the National League of Cities. Here in Indiana, it's endorsed by the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water. Yeah, that's kind of the highlights of the program. I'd like to answer any questions if you have any.
So it looks like in this area, you have Napanee, Mishawaka, Montpelier, Van Buren. in our area.
Yeah,
based on-
several around in the community
Kind
here.
of different size
Yeah,
cities,
yeah.
of course, along that, or towns, cities and towns along the way there.
Yeah, we find it kind of works, no matter what the size. We have communities as small as, 30 or so households, up to some of the largest cities in the country here. Mishawaka, I believe, Evansville and Mishawaka are our largest here in the state of Indiana. Yeah.
So ultimately, the benefit of the city partnering, if you will, with this program, NLC Service Line Warranty Program, is that there's basically a revenue share component there. Obviously, you have the exterior benefits to our residents of having a service that they can rely on if they choose to participate in that. But as for the city proper, our city government, if you will, the benefit is that there's a revenue sharing component.
That's correct. So 10% of every dollar we collect, we will actually give back to the city. Some of our communities will do some things where they'll set those aside, and maybe there's a resident that has a high water bill that can't afford it. Those go to that. Maybe they don't have our coverage and they have a line break. Other cities will just put it into their general fund. About 80% of our partners take the revenue. 20% decide that they don't want it. If you don't want it, we just discount the cost of the rest of it for you, so it's a little cheaper for them. So, but to be honest with you, the money is not a lot that comes back to the city. What most of our partners say the biggest benefit is it's just having that available, like you said. And right now, whenever a resident has an issue with their line, you really don't have any, and they call in, you don't have anywhere to tell them to turn. Hey, you're just going to have to find a contractor to fix it. With our program in place, it's kind of preempting that. Hey, here's a way you can cover yourself so that when these lines do break, you're not going to have to pay for them. So.
You said that's 10% on what?
10% of the water, the sewer, of all the products. So 10% of every dollar we collect goes back to the city. So
What's the average cost?
the water line's about $7 a month. I'll follow up with an email to give you the exact price, and the sewer line I think is about $12 a month or so.
I have a question, Mike. So
Yes, sir.
you're basically looking for us to endorse
Uh,
your,
yeah.
I'm just curious, what
Yeah.
stopped you from
Yeah.
just doing it
Yeah.
without our endorsement?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, basically, you don't have to say you endorse us or anything. Some communities where it's a big issue, they do endorse us and they send us all out there and they want to make sure everybody gets covered. Others will just introduce us to their resident. The reason we work with the city, there's a couple reasons. First off, we want to cover everything your residents are responsible for, so we'll work with your utility staff here to kind of get the codes here and make sure that our coverages line up to their responsibilities. But then secondly, is because with working with you, more of your residents read the information. They can make an educated decide whether they want to sign up or not. Educated decision. So
Basically, it's like these car or like an insurance.
Like an extended
Basically,
warranty.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if I buy into this program, this company will take care of my car. If I have engine breaks down, whatever. So this is basically the same type of a thing. You're paying into something and hoping nothing happens, but it's more of an insurance saying, hey, it's going to come up to $7,000 or $8,000. If it's $7 a month or whatever, $70, $84 a year, I'm paying into this, and hopefully nothing happens.
correct. But if something does, then it's more of peace of mind. You make one call and then it's taken care of for you.
80 some bucks a year. I mean, we've had whole sewer lines that have collapsed that are $10,000+. So
Well, we got an issue up on Van Buren.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a guy come in from the state highway, trying to figure out, the sewer lines on the opposite side of the road, how
Yep.
they're gonna get across, and the homeowner's responsible.
up
for
to the
that.
main.
Up to the main. And
Yep.
it's like,
So
oh my
state
God.
highway is now involved.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
taking
Yep,
up
you're
the
right.
It gets
highway and
expensive.
back to the house, so something like that would be a huge benefit.
Yeah.
But, that's up to the property.
So is this something that is not typically covered by
Yeah.
homeowners insurance?
And that's kind of how the programs start. Typically, your homeowner's insurance, say you have a backup in your basement, it'll cover any damage to the walls or any, cleanup, that sort of thing. The lines in the street are covered by the city or the utility, but that line in the middle, typically isn't covered by anybody. Sometimes there is a rider that you can add through your homeowner's insurance. The problem with those is a lot of times I know my homeowner's deductible is $1,000. So, if you add that and then, if you just get your sewer line cleaned out, that's typically $400 or $500. Or if it is more, $1,000 can still be a hardship, to come up with. So with this program, there's no deductible, so you don't have, and then you don't have to tax your homeowner's insurance policy either. So.
As long as it's properly communicated that the city's not asking people to do this. It's their free choice. It's not something we're going to charge for by any stretch of the imagination. It's their business. It's a business opportunity for them to take advantage of it. It's not from the city telling you to buy into this, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a real problem with it. Well, I've seen this type of thing before, but
Well, and ultimately, so Mike has approached us in the past, and in the past, we decided that wasn't something we necessarily wanted to do at that time, but we've had a change in leadership since then, and so I thought it was important at the very least to get the information in front of you. And if this is something that the council thinks this is a valuable resource for our residents, and, if we want to do this, that's something that we can kind of think through and talk about. Obviously, we're missing 2 members tonight from the council, but it's something that I wanted to at least kind of let Mike present the information to you, present the program to you, and give you an opportunity if you have questions about it. And by the way, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't. Ultimately, I think that's a council decision. But it is something where I thought it was valuable to at least have the information in front of you.
I'd like to find out how many times do we really have the problem.
Yeah.
Because I don't see that being a real problem with the water.
That was the water, the sewer.
Yeah.
Sewer is the issue.
Yeah. And that's what we see everywhere typically.
I
Yeah.
mean, tree roots and stuff, I see that. I'd just be kind of interested to see how many times we even have, the residents have to worry about that.
Yeah, well, and I can tell you, actually, this is really apropos for right now, because if you've driven down Whitley Street recently at Van Buren, you will have noticed there is a whole bunch of dirt piled and messed up and trees down and things like that, because there was a resident on Whitley Street, and currently there is not a sewer line that goes down Whitley Street. So there was a resident that lived 2 houses down from Van Buren on the south side, on Whitley, South Whitley, that had to not only dig up her yard, but had to dig up the neighbor's yard to get to where they connect to the line. And so, thousands of dollars in that regard. That's one. The other one is on Van Buren, that there's an issue with one of the houses there that would go across county highway, or state highway, excuse me. So ultimately, that's 2 instances right at this moment happening. I don't think it happens a lot, but I think it's one of those where, I know that on our time on the board, the very first term, there was a lady that had a sewer line that went out from her house and down the alley and connected in the road, and the whole thing was crushed, and she didn't know that when she purchased the home. And, so it's those kind of instances, and that was, I want to say that was $8,000 to $10,000 on that one, right? So, I see that there's those situations, whether those people would have this kind of, warranty program or not, I don't know, but I think there's definitely positives to the opportunity if that's the way you want to go, so.
Hey, Mike, could we get a sample of one of the direct mailers that you
Sure,
send out?
yeah, 100%. I'll send you the template we start with.
That's fine.
And then just know, like, cities change a lot of
Sure,
things on
sure.
it. We'll design it to what what works best for you guys. So.
Yeah, just a PDF.
Yeah, yep. I'll follow that up with an email.
Yeah, I was gonna say send it to.
Yeah, I'll send it and you can distribute it.
My other question is it set up like an insurance policy where you actually have like a policy?
It is not.
review?
So in the state of Indiana, it's regulated as a warranty product because insurance products, a lot of times it has to be like, something happened, an accident.
Right.
This covers straight wear and tear on your line. So that's why it's regulated as a warranty product. What also works nice for your residents because there's nothing for them to sign. They can cancel at any time. They don't have to pay into it for a year, until it works or anything like that. So it's a month-to-month, contract for the residents. As long as they pay that month, then they're covered. So.
guess I would just want to make sure that it's clear, like,
Yeah.
exactly what they're being covered for, like,
Sure.
the warranty is covering them
Yeah,
for.
for sure.
To where it's not, I mean, it's just covering, like, from what I understand, like the water line, but if their water bill's up because water has been seeping
Right,
out
yeah.
for months, right, it's not gonna help them to pay for that portion of their water bill, it's just gonna actually help for the
Yeah.
pipe.
I can include the
Water.
terms and conditions with that email too.
That'd be great.
That's what goes to every resident when they sign up. That way you can take a look at that too. So
Any other questions from us? You have anything else for us?
that's all. I thank you very much. My email and phone number is in that presentation, so if you're thinking of things and things come up, reach out to me. But otherwise, I'll send everything to you, Mayor, and I'll follow up through that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Okay, I am gonna deviate a little bit from our schedule. Jordan, I'm gonna have you come up next. I know I told you I'd be at the end here, but since you're here. So, Holsworth?
Correct.
Holsworth?
Correct.
Okay, Jordan here is, wanted to make a quick introduction, so I will go ahead and let you do that.
All right. Thank you, Mayor, Council, City folks. Just wanted to let you know that Surf Internet, we've been in a little bit over a year or so now. The city itself has been really good to us, but we come to realize that sometimes we don't have the local touch that we need in each one of our cities and towns, and so that's where my position comes available. It's actually called a regional market manager. What I'm here for is really just to support you guys on the council, in the chamber, in local events. And really, we want to just be a good face in the community. Like I said, the city has been really great to us. We just passed over 5,000 home sites in the city that we have connected with Surf Internet as far as available to them. Not connected, but available. And recently completed the Gateway Industrial Park and Connection Way out there too. And we do have some folks signing up for that already. And puts us into our about $5.5 million invested into the city. And again, we just want to make sure that we're being good partners for you. Sometimes with your city was a little bit easier because we were able to put a lot of things over the actual telephone pole, or actually over the poles instead of in ground. But we do have some construction issues, and sometimes those things come up to your guys' plates, and you hear about it. And we just want to make sure we're a good partner. And I'm here to introduce myself. I live in Syracuse, so I'm pretty local to you guys, and just want to make myself available and be able to. I'll share my information with you guys via email either tonight or tomorrow. There for you.
President Jordan?
No, I just want to say thanks. I've been on Surf. Right when I first got on it, we had a few bugs to work out. But after that, some improvements were made, and I personally enjoyed having Surf Internet at my house. So
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, I've shared this with your bosses and all that kind of stuff, but it's, we spent multiple years trying to get fiber into our community and had multiple false starts. And on top of that, had multiple companies that wanted the world to build out fiber in our community.
Sure.
Wanted a lot of financial benefits and wanted the city to be very financially involved, let's say it that way. And what I really appreciate about Surf is not only did you want to come into Columbia City, but that you didn't really ask us for anything. And I think our residents hopefully have repaid that kindness, if you will, because I know you're getting a lot of market share around here. And so much so that you forced one of our incumbents to move to fiber within a year after you were in. So I think that's good. Obviously, there's always bumps in the road.
Yes.
I know there's been some utility things from time to time, but ultimately, I do appreciate that Surf has chosen Columbia City to build out. So
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. And again, if you guys ever need anything, or this won't be the first time or the last time you see me, but yeah.
great.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. I think Mike wants to catch up with you on the outside, just so you're aware.
That's the one.
These usually are my best friends over here.
Next up is ordinance 2024-17. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Motion by Tad, second by Leslie. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Of those present, please read ordinance 2024-17 by title only.
Ordinance 2024-17, an ordinance amending Title 11, Business Regulations of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia City, Indiana.
As a reminder from last time, this is to fill the gap, if you will. You had mobile food vendors passed, mobile non-food vendors passed, but then these pop-up tent things, itinerant merchants popped up, and they are not really covered. So this brings them into the code, if you will, to make sure that that it's a fairness thing, right? So, any questions, comments, concerns about this? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-17 on second and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Tad. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Next up is ordinance 2024-18. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
So,
Second.
Motion by Leslie, seconded by Tad. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Please read ordinance 2024-18 by title only.
Ordinance 2024-18, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the City of Columbia City, Indiana, and declaring an emergency.
So this is our semi-annual, I think, ordinance that basically takes everything that we passed and puts it into the ordinances online, and I don't know if it officially codifies it. Is that what it does officially? So usually we pass this just with one reading by declaring an emergency and passing it with one reading. Again, it's really inconsequential because at the end of the day, you guys have already passed these ordinances. It's just putting them into the actual code. So, any questions, comments, concerns about this?
I don't see Leslie's name on this.
That's because
It's on the second.
it's on the second page. Keep
Oh,
scrolling.
second page.
There you go.
Dropping
She's
down.
so special, she gets a second page.
You have paid all on your own.
I see what you're saying.
No, you're okay. Any other questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-18 and declare an emergency? I'm sorry, on first and final reading.
Second.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Wait, was that a motion?
Yeah, that's a motion.
Okay, Dan motion,
Second.
Tad seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of this.
Whatever you say.
I was getting a little word salad there, so I apologize in advance. Department head reports. Chip?
Westgate's come along very quickly. They're doing landscaping right now. They've got to put the surface coat on. I know the mayor has set up a ribbon cutting for it. I don't know the date.
We
Or
have
you
not set it up. I
Okay.
have given him dates in which I'm available.
Okay, sorry about that, but it should be done here within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Everything should be done. Eagle Park, the swing is up and they are working on coating the pickleball courts, so we're looking to set up a ribbon cutting for that. Skate park should be, they have all the materials ordered, so they should be moving in on site here within the next couple months. I don't know what else, sorry.
Questions of Chip? Thank you. Tom?
Well, good news on a lot of things. Our breathing air compressor, which is what we use to fill up our SCBA's, our air bottles we wear in the fires, was fixed today. The Plima vent system, which is the exhaust system down in the bays, was fixed today. 102, we got it back from the mechanic yesterday. Adam found it was primarily some ground wires and I'll call it a bus bar that connects all the batteries that was causing all of our issues. So glad to get that back, and kudos to Adam for sticking to it and getting everything done. The rooftop air conditioner went out, and we've got a new one on order, and it's in. They're just waiting for the crane to set it. All this happened all at once. 101's generator had some issues. Adam held off on taking our other engine out of service till we got the other engine back, so he's going to work that into the line of progression as he starts working on other departments. And then, one other thing. Oh, I forgot to report to the Board of Works last meeting that we're working with insurance companies in reference to the training facility. The quote to fix and repair the training facility came in at about $57,000. to bring it, to fix it, so.
That's half of what we thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
So, it's still a lot of money, but,
So we'll keep you posted on how that progresses.
yeah.
They basically got to disassemble the whole thing and then rebuild it again.
They can't just take a big suction cup and pop it out?
I wish they could.
Questions on Tom? Thank you. Matt?
We started dugouts this week of tearing them down, getting them ready so we can put up the cinder block ones to match what's on 3 and 4. So they'll all be a little less maintenance down there. We're mowing the riverbank so that you can see into the river. There's a lot of wildlife that goes up and down the river, and that's pretty nice to see. We've got a mini excavator with a mulcher on it, and so we're leveling everything that we possibly can. And other than that, it's just day-to-day stuff.
Questions on Matt? Thank you. Sean? I'll get back to him. Don't worry.
Osmos has completed the allotted amount of pole testing we're gonna do for this year, which is about 70% of our overall number of poles. So the next portion will be a lot smaller, which is nice. They did find 148 poles that need to be replaced. So we know what we're doing for the next couple of years in our department. The Roy Hills, Jefferson Street, Park Terrace project, portion of the project where we're undergrounding is complete. Overhead wires have been removed, so we're feeding off the underground now, so that'll be a great improvement for the customers in that area for sure. We now are across the road to Cul-de-sac Avenue. We're gonna do all the backyard overhead through there, get that buried, and then we're gonna transition into changing poles. Other than that, Angie and Jason Buckles are in Brownstown for training on our TuneIt software, which is our AMI software. They have a new version out. I'm teaching them how to use this new version, so they're down there today and tomorrow. And then tomorrow we're sending our mechanic to Illinois to do some bucket truck repair training. So we've been looking for some sort of training like this for a while. We were able to locate this company, so excited to send him away to that as well.
Questions of Sean? Thank you, Mike.
We're getting good iron removal in our filters now, so that's looking up. And also our chlorine levels are starting to pick up, so that's coming in.
Questions of Mike? Yes.
I just wanted to get Mike's thoughts on the presentation from the other Mike that was here on the coverage of the pipes and how that affects your
Well,
department.
that lady there on Whitley Street would love to have it because she's got about 26,000 in it. And I'm not so sure they're not planning on going out on the street on that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So do I think it's a good idea? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if people want that, protection, and they're willing to pay it, they should at least be offered.
And so that doesn't impede what you guys do on a day-to-day basis and all that?
No, because what's ours is gonna still be ours.
Okay,
What's theirs is theirs.
okay.
Other questions, Mike? Thank you. You want to introduce yourself and talk about what the youth council do?
Yeah, so I'm Anna Lordy and I'm a sophomore at Ecotech Academy. And last youth council meeting was our first meeting. So we introduced each other and we did icebreakers, which were a scavenger hunt around downtown. And then we did tower, gumdrops, and straws. And then we went over rules and expectations for everybody. So student to student expectations, student to leaders, and leaders to student expectations. Then after that, we brainstormed service project activities. So we came up with 21 ideas total. And then we chose like our 3 favorite ones. And then after that, we went over what's happening in the city and just different projects that are going on. And then we elected leaders of president, vice president, and secretary. And then after that, we had lunch with department heads, and we wrapped up with a service project at the city signs.
Questions about it? So what?
That was busy.
It was a busy day. It was a busy day. And it was only from what, 8:30 to 1:30 probably?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Marcia.
Nothing.
Rosie. A couple of department head reports for your information. Terry said that equipment has been ordered for the fiber project for the test kitchen and Eagle Park. He is starting the process of upgrading 5 servers that are approaching end of life. Still thinking about the sewers. They're close to finishing the upgrade to the street department's Granite software, which is the software they use to televise the sewer lines. I see there was sewer attached there, so. So that's Terry's. Mike Cook, they are waiting on new lift station panels. Their break room remodel is now complete, and the Jefferson and Main Force Main project is fully in operation. On the Jefferson Street, the pipe is in and the asphalt went down, I think on Friday. So Rosie is happy that her road is starting to clear out a little bit. A couple other miscellaneous things they're working on, trying to work on that permit for cyanide testing, and 600 pump base replacement project started last Tuesday, was completed by Thursday, which is great, and have some issues with the sludge buildup happening, but they're working on that piece. Kelly has said that they're working on getting the new 1-ton trucks that they got from Enterprise taken care of, and they're working on the salt boxes that goes in them, trying to get ready for winter already. They're going to be busy here very shortly on leaf season, so they're trying to get ahead of the game on winter, because as you well know, it can turn from leaf season to winter and that quickly. Back 2 years ago when we did a ribbon cutting at Westgate in early October, we had 6 inches of snow that day. So they're preparing for that, just in case. They have to do some hose fittings and welding some new tailgate fasteners to each of those salt boxes. They also have a person that's inspecting the sanitary sewer installation at the Timbers Edge second phase of the subdivision out there, the new phase of Timbers Edge out on Hannah Street extended basically out there. So, and they have a person in the sweeper that's kind of going around and collecting all the, I guess, dry sand and rocks and things like that in the streets. So. Solid Waste Board meeting was yesterday, and there was a lot of conversation about what we're going to do for the tires, so that we have a tire pickup program that happened last Saturday. We got about 1,000 tires in that, which I think is a really positive thing. We actually have capacity for up to like 3,000. So they are going to continue accepting tires until they kind of hit that limit. It was all grant based, so they just want to eat up all that capacity, if you will, so that's a positive thing. Let's see, what else is happening? Homecoming parade is this Friday, normal route from Eagle Park up to Van Buren, around the courthouse, and back. I think they go down Market. I think they continue down Market, then down Whitley, yes. I think so. They go up Whitley, down Van Buren, around the courthouse, I think down Market, down Whitley. Yeah. Next Monday, Wayne TV will be broadcasting live from Columbia City at both 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hours. They're going to hopefully highlight some parts of Eagle Park and some of the other things happening in the city, as I understand. Yours truly will be interviewed a couple of times, I think, but they're excited to be here. And maybe lastly, I'll say the Great Lakes Shrine Association is having their convention parade on Saturday the 21st. That's a really big deal. It doesn't happen very often. As I mentioned last time, I think it's a big deal. So that's going to be noon on Saturday, September 21st. We hope people will come out in force on that. It is the Old Settlers route, so it'll go from north. It'll go on Main Street from north to Ellsworth. I think that's all I have. We do have CIP after this meeting. So, Dan.
last night we had a plan commission meeting where you approved property noms, a two-lot subdivision up there by your neighborhood off of Gates Road. We did have discussion about sidewalk, that it was negated because it would go nowhere. The sidewalk would go nowhere. So usually when a subdivision comes in within the town limits, we like to put a sidewalk in with it. It doesn't make sense.
Right across the street from you.
Yeah, right across the street from you. We probably.
Oh, I know what you're talking
We probably gonna put it on your. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, we're talking about putting it on your side, because it's short.
Hey, that's less I got a motion.
But no, Chip took charge of that,
Yeah.
and it's like they've done very well, so, yeah, so it did get approved, you know, to a lot. So, other than that, it was pretty easy going last night,
Thank you. Ted?
RDC today, even though I was not there, I got a full report, Chip.
I'm glad.
Yes, so we got 4 facade grant, 3.
Three.
My information was inaccurate.
Sorry.
Well, there was some discussion of whether it was 3 or 4.
Oh.
I brought
It was 3.
it was my fault.
It was 3.
Okay, so there were 3, and did those get approved?
All 3 approved.
Okay, yeah, for signage and,
Yep.
so. And that's the only information I have. was
We
signage.
discussed the revolving loan fund, got it kind of tightened up a little better, so we're competitive, and hopefully we get some potential people wanting to work with us on it, so.
That's it.
Thank you. Leslie.
I have nothing.
Okay, we have no press, we have no audience, so we will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.